Alrighty, thank you, David. Hey, everyone, as David mentioned, my name's Henry. I've just got a quick 5-minute presentation for you all that I'm going to jump into now. So on the agenda this evening, we have a bit about the Melton East PSP, or Precinct Structure Plan, and what it's going to deliver, how to get involved, some short info on where we are in the project timeline and what our next steps in the process are, and then we'll open it up to the floor for questions at the end. So the precinct is predominantly a residential community, but we'll ultimately plan for a few different features, which I'm going to just list for you now. So I'll start at the top of the precinct. We have a small light industrial area of the precinct. So this interfaces with the existing Melton Homemaker precinct and is intended to act as a continuation of the commercial industrial uses to the west. We have 2 neighborhood activity centers and 2 local convenience centers dispersed throughout the precinct to serve the future residential community. And speaking of which, we are expecting the PSP to deliver approximately 12,000 new homes. And the plan promotes increased density around activity centers, open space, and future public transport routes. And if you can see on the plan there, areas that are hatched brown on the plan indicate areas of increased density. So there's approximately 90 hectares of growling grass frog conservation land situated around Corroid Creek, around 180 hectares of waterways and wetlands to manage stormwater in the precinct. We've planned for 4 government primary schools, a government secondary school, and 2 potential non-government schools that are all dispersed throughout the precinct. 10 local parks, 4 sporting grounds, and 4 community facility sites. So out of all the uses I've just listed, that totals an estimated 2,000 new jobs to be delivered by the precinct as well. And also worth just noting that the PSP also plans for transport connections between the surrounding communities, including the identification of bus-capable roads that will enable the future provision of bus services. So now just a bit on how you can get involved. So David touched on this a bit earlier, but I'll just go through a bit more detail. So there are several ways you can participate. So we have information sessions like the one you're at right now. So given you all made it to this one, I take it you all know how to register and come along to these, but the session times are listed on the Melton East Engage Victoria website. In case you need another reminder, we have one more online session and 2 that you can come along to. So if you'd like to ask a question outside of these sessions, please feel free to reach out to our project team. You can use that email address that's there or use the contact details listed on the VPA project page. So you can make a submission through the Engage Victoria website or email it to us using the Melton East email address listed there. And just a note to say, we have translator and interpreter services available if need be. So worth noting, the VPA reviews every submission and provides a written response. So making a submission is the best way to ensure your feedback is considered and heard by us. For detailed information and updates, you can visit our dedicated page on Engage Victoria. There, the PSP, including plans showing the proposed land uses, like the one that I showed before, as well as technical background reports which have informed our plan. So now just a bit about where we are in the process and what comes next. So we're currently undertaking public consultation and the closing date for submissions is the 31st of March. We'll spend the following months after that reviewing and responding to submissions with the aim of resolving as many as possible. Any submissions we're unable to resolve will be referred to Planning Panels Victoria and will be subject to a hearing, which is currently planned to commence in early July. Following this process, Planning Panels Victoria will provide recommendations on how to finalise the PSP. We're aiming to finalise the plan in line with those recommendations before the end of the year. And once finalised, the plan will be gazetted and will form part of the Melton planning scheme. So that means that once gazetted, planning permit applications in accordance with the PSP will be able to be lodged with Melton City Council, which typically take between 6 and 12 months to resolve. So this means you might start seeing development occurring towards the end of 2026, but more likely from 2027 onwards. And that concludes the presentation component of the session.